Whatever, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Pels in the Blender with A. Davis. Just wanted to come to y'all today just to kind of touch base on some of the off-season moves that's been going on. Everybody got a lot of excitement happening right now. And not necessarily is all good excitement because the Pels have been linked to Jonathan Kuminga, and potentially moving out players like Herb Jones. We don't think that Trey Murphy's going to be involved, but it's looking like it's going to be a lot of details and a lot of moving parts going into this to kind of see if the Pelicans and Joe Dumars can acquire Jonathan Kuminga. So what I really want to talk about this morning is every Pelicans fan knows, or the one major question that we have is, Willie Green, right? So Zion is a question in himself, but Willie Green is almost a bigger question than Zion. The Zion question is, hey, is he going to be available? The question about Zion is he going to be good when he is available? We've seen this dude perform, all NBA levels, all-star, almost MVP caliber. So the questions about Zion's performance, that's not really the questions that people have. It's literally just, is he going to be available? Willie Green, on the other hand, is the main question that people have, and what gives most Pelicans fans hesitancy about making any kind of move. So I just want to dive a little bit into Willie Green specifically, and why essentially Pels fans have given up on Willie Green, and why we think that even if James Borrego isn't the guy, that we know for sure that Willie isn't. So James might be the answer, but we know for sure that Willie isn't the answer, for lack of better terms. So as the reports are coming out with James Borrego potentially going to the Knicks or taking a lateral move, and the Pelicans try to block that move, it puts an emphasis on, hey, if you decide to fire Willie during the season, you left with no fail safe. So a lot of people are like, well, it shouldn't matter who's the number two if you brought Willie back and you believe in him. So why do people not believe in Willie Green? Well, Willie Green has given you multiple reasons to not believe in him for an extended period of time. The first thing we're going to kind of jump into is the why we don't believe him in. Any player that you bring in, and there's a little bit of a misnomer about Willie not necessarily playing rookies. It's not that Willie won't play rookies. It's Willie only plays a very specific type of rookie. And Willie plays rookies based out of necessity. Herb Jones only played, and granted, Herb Jones was a defensive beast starting out, but Herb Jones only played because Josh Hart got injured, and then that's how he initially got the starting spot. But then when Josh came back, he was like, no, this guy's a defensive beast. We're going to leave him in. And everybody loved Herb Jones. So I'm not necessarily saying that was a bad move, but we're talking about specifically him playing the rookies. Trey, on the other hand, had a much rougher time. And that's not to say that Trey deserved major minutes, but Trey almost had his confidence shaken early. Career could have been derailed if he wasn't, mentally tough during that time. Got sent to the G League, was logging a bunch of DNPs, wasn't playing in the right style, spotted up in the corner. And that kind of hindered Trey, and Trey was able to continue to work to overcome that and become the player that he became. But Willie Green did Trey no favors. It's been multiple times we've seen Trey hit his stride and then get benched for veteran players that's not producing. So that's a issue that most fans have with Willie Green. If you continue to move on, with kind of his handling of young players and stuff like that, what happened with Kyra? Kyra was playing and Kyra wasn't playing. Kyra doesn't play for 10 games, and then all of a sudden you thrusting Kyra in the playoff games. Stuff like that is when you're attached to the team and you have a really good memory of how a lot of those things went, you can't forget how the handling of Kyra, kind of hindered that team, because it was like, bro, you at least need to give the guy some run so he could kind of get into a rhythm. But then, you not play him, and then come the playoffs, you're gonna throw him in, and then you immediately take him out. That makes no sense. And more recently, the handling of, and I know I'm skipping over like Dyson and stuff like that, which Dyson was an elite defender, but also Dyson didn't get a really good run, in my opinion, because there was stretch. If you draft a guy 8 overall like they did with Dyson, you need to not only make a way for this guy to be successful, it's like in your franchise's benefit that he look the best that he can. So Dyson would have like long stretches of not playing extended minutes, not really getting in the games and stuff like that to even be able to develop his skill set. And then when he was in the game, wasn't put too much in advantageous situations to be as productive as he could. And then Jordan Hawkins recently, rookie year, started out like, and again with Jordan Hawkins, the defense is questionable and the shooting that time is streaky, but you drafted Jordan as a shooter, like, so you have to put that guy in positions to shoot. And there was a time early in the season where Jordan Hawkins was a top 3 candidate for rookie of the year, and then all of a sudden you don't see that guy anymore. It's like, exactly what are we doing when you have a rookie that was showing flashes of figuring it out, and for a shooter, rhythm is one of the biggest things you have to have. Like you have to find a rhythm. It takes time, and then when you find your groove, you could kind of get going. But it's hard to really get into a groove when I'm playing the game, I'm not playing. I'm playing in these sets, I'm not playing. Like, where am I getting my shots from? Like, I'm always shooting contested shots. Like, it's just the Jordan Hawkins usage in his rookie year. And a lot of people say, okay, well, Hawk wasn't that good. Well, and that team was a competitive team. That was Willie Green's best season. So I understand, like, okay, you might play more your veteran players a little more, but again, you drafted this guy in the lottery, and he had flashes of showing that when he was given some extended time, he was able to help produce on a team that needed some shooting. Even at the time where, like, him just being out there and how people would contest was helping the team at the time. So I'm not saying that Jordan Hawkins is necessarily the greatest player, but the use of Jordan Hawkins that first season kind of have a lot of stuff coming into question with Willie Green. So his use of his usage of young players is one thing that people question when you're talking about Jeremiah Fears and Derek Queen and how this team is going to perform moving forward. Are we going to put those players in the most advantageous situations? Are they even going to get on the floor? Are you going to play? We don't know what the roster is going to look like, but are we seeing Jose over Fears? I don't know. And if Fears is looking good, do we think because he might miss an assignment or something like that, he's going to be on the bench for the next 4 or 5 games? All of those things are questions that we have about Willie Green. And I don't necessarily think that he's inspired a lot of confidence to think that he's gonna do well in answering those questions. So that's kind of talking about one of the first things. The second thing that I kind of think that the major hang up with Willie Green is this guy has no real feel for the game. Like you can tell that what Willie at this point going into year 5 should have more. It feels like he should have more experience in pressure situations or game management situations than he does. And it just feels like consistently you see Willie make the same mistakes over and over and over, year after year after year. Like whether it's a bad sub or a missed timeout or a bad rotation, all of these things and it just feels so obvious when you're watching the games, and especially when you're in the arena and you're watching the games up close, you could just tell that he doesn't have a connection with what's going on out there. And I'm gonna be honest, man, as much as I'm in the game, I've almost never seen Willie like grab a clipboard and draw something up. Hey, like, the team's going on a 4-0 run. We're up 10. They cut it to 6. Let me take a timeout early. Like, you don't really see those kinds of things. There's always, okay, hey, they're making a run. They've taken the lead. They're up 5. They're up 8. Timeout. It's like, bro, we could have been did something to kind of mitigate that problem, to not blow these leads, right? Also, you see players, they'll be on the streak. You might see Trey, hit 2 jump shots in a row, come off, catch get a dunk or something like that. And then it's like, hey, man, come sit down, right? It's like those are the feel for the game kind of things that most fans have a problem with. Like, we'll be watching the game and you just know that, like, when a player catches a rhythm, Willie gonna break that rhythm by coming sit them down. Like, those are things that you just can't afford when you're trying to be competitive and win basketball games. Like, and it makes you question, hey, was it Griff kind of, telling Willie, hey, we got to make sure the rotations are by the number. And I know with Zion, that's one thing, but with some of your other players too, it's like, okay, at this moment, we got to get this player in. At the 6-minute mark, we got to do this. These 2 players can't play on the same. Like, it just feels like when you're watching the games, you have no clue what the strategy is, like what the plan is. You know what I mean? And we're going into year 5, and we still don't know what style they want to play. That's another reason that a lot of people are hesitant. Willie doesn't have. Not only does he not have a feel for the game, strategically, we do not know what your play style is. Like, are you gonna be a up and down team? Are we a physical team? I know they say we're supposed to be a defensive team, but we can't even really tell what the defensive scheme is consistently from game to game. Are we in drop coverage? Are we a blitz team? Like, what it is exactly that we're doing that we know we can bank on. So when the front office and the new front office is talking about bringing in players, okay, this player fits because we played this particular style. This is probably where they're going to get their shots. This is where, this is how they're going to get their looks. The only thing is, hey, bro, Zion good. Trey, like, Zion's going to create havoc. They can't really do much. He's going to attack the paint. Like, strategically, we don't create any advantages for anybody on the team. And that's a major problem. So, like, a lot of these guys are doing it, off of talent. And I've mentioned this multiple times before. Brandon said it before he rolled out. Like, they won a lot of those games off the talent, and you're not going to be able to consistently win with that being the case. Coming in at a coaching disadvantage from a strategical standpoint is you just can't afford that and be a consistently competitive team, right? And because of those problems, all of that shows up in the wins and the losses, right? And you see it when the Pelicans talent will get you so far. You'll build a double-digit lead. You could come back from some of these teams, but there is no consistency, and that's the biggest problem that we see with Willie Green as a head coach. So I kind of want to transition from that to jump into the actual facts in the wins and the losses. Like, because Joe Dumars said, like, sometimes I don't really care how we get it done. Like, we don't have to shoot 43s. We don't have to do, like, I just want to get wins, right? So as a Pelicans fan, since Willie Green got here, I think how I would rank the seasons or rank his performance, his performance specifically during the seasons. Like his first season, they started off terrible. You made but again, you're a first year coach. Zion wasn't really there. You're trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? So you kind of got to give him a little bit of grace in year one, even though they started off so bad, 1-12 or something like that. And they towards the later end of the season, they make the trade for CJ. They make a late push. You win the play-in games. You got that great game against you got to fight game against the Clippers. Trade goes crazy, and then you get into the playoffs. And you fight admirably against the Suns, the one seed at the time, competitive series. And at that point, everything was looking kind of up, like you felt like, okay, Willie got some flaws, but it's year one. You didn't have your best player. We'll be able to grow from this. And you felt like, okay, there were some things that you could be able to work with. Well, what we didn't know is that, for me at least, that was one of the first signs of, I don't necessarily think this is going to go too well, because, man, when you see grown man crying in the playoffs and you got another guy, you know what I mean, wiping your eyes and stuff like that, it's like, bro, I just didn't think that was a good sign moving forward, man. Like, I don't know. It's just, I understand the emotion of it, but a coach being that emotional, and then being that emotional, but also, the even killness that they want to show, not get too high, not get too low. But you don't show the fight for your players, which we would go on to see later, not standing up for Zion in the, in the media, or I'm not trying to be fined, allowing his guys to be hacked and bullied in most, you know what I mean? In most instances, I think you saw some of that coming, but the year one was, from a coaching standpoint, probably his peak year, even though statistically he's had better seasons since then. So year one, they're 36-46. They make the late push. They make the play-in. They get in. Okay. That was, again, trade coming off the bench, not playing Herb, all of that. Okay, fine. Year two, they had a better season. So I will rank the year two season as okay season. That was they were the one seed for a while. The Zion 360 against Phoenix in the comeback. You know what I mean? At the Smoothie King Center, where you got, matter of fact, hold on.
It's over. Pels. No. Get it done. And on the spin and the reverse, the slam by Zion.
So you got that play that happens in the second season. That might have been when everybody was like, okay, we coming. You know what I mean? You feeling good about the team. And then everything is downhill from there. Zion gets hurt. And then you really started seeing some of the coaching flaws in Willie in that particular season, not being able to steady the ship. They go on to lose 10 games in a row. And from there, the season was pretty much shaky the rest of the way. Like, they could never gain the consistency or the momentum that they needed to be able to continue that upward trajectory. B.I. missed a lot of time and stuff like that. So people that want to give Willie a little bit of slack, saying the stars are in, like, as far as the injuries and stuff like that goes, and them not playing the way a star should play, yeah, you give a little bit of that is that. But also, when you just watch the games, you can see how those particular things don't affect Willie Green, because, again, he's inconsistent in what it is that he's trying to do. And some of those things don't matter depending on who's on the floor. So I consider the second season, when you coming off that high, they had the momentum, you get the one seed, you get the Zion dunk, you the one seed in the West, everything is rolling. And then I think from that moment you started seeing the downside from a coaching standpoint of Willie Green at that instance. They go on to lose in the play-in, and that's pretty much the end of that. So I would say that season was, I mean, technically, if you don't make the playoffs, it's an F, but like his performance in that particular season was the real showing that this guy is really not a good coach. So you come into year 3. This year 3 is the 49 win season. The team is as healthy as it can be. You like Zion's been around for a while. Brandon's been like, the team is finally like, CJ's playing well. Trey's coming, like Herb shoots 40% from 3. First team all defense, everything is rolling. With that team, they go on to win 49 games. The flaw with the 49 games is that everybody knows, like, obviously, about all of the blown leads and them not being able to come back. Like, if you start the fourth quarter down, not being able to come back one time that season, them not being able to win home games late in the season. I think they were like 0-8 or something like that at home, the final stretch of the season or something. And they again, Brandon get hurt late, but they rallying and whatnot. Also, the feel of the game thing. Do you sit Brandon when the team kind of has it rolling? Do you sit Brandon to kind of keep that consistency going? That's all things that come down to the coach. But in that particular season, like, they were playing well, but they never really were playing well enough to feel like, hey man, this is a team that could do more. And from a consistency standpoint, they never win. Like, even in that season, they never won more than 4 games in a row. Like that's insane. Like, that your most productive season, some of the things that they were able to do, and everybody's healthy, and at most times playing well, you can't get more than 4 games in a row. And I'm gonna dive into that a little bit too, but that's a staple of Willie Green and the inconsistencies. He cannot adjust. And not only can he not adjust, he isn't equipped, I think, with the tools to listen to the people, because everybody talk about his stubbornness. He isn't equipped or built to listen to the people who might even be able to help him adjust. So it's tough to be stubborn and, I don't want to say unintelligent. That's not the thing, but like, not the best with the strategic portions of the game, to where you're really putting your team as a deficit. What's the point of having these guys on the staff if you're not going to listen to the ones that you hired or that y'all brought in to be able to help you? Like, at the end of the day, that's a benefit to you and the team. So though the 49 win season is extremely flawed, because not only could they just didn't lose. Like, Willie Green is known for going on these massive losing streaks, right? It's just that particular season, they were able to mitigate and not go on and lose 5 in a row, 6 in a row, 7 in a row, something like that. They were able to kind of, okay, 3 games here, 2 games here, 4 wins here, and then 2 losses here. You know what I mean? To kind of balance it out. But it was never like okay, here we go, 4 in a row. Oh, okay, they done lost 1 or 2, then 6 in a row, something like that. That's just not a stable of a Willie Green team. Then, Zion gets hurt, they lose, they win the play and go to the playoffs, get smacked by OKC, tells Brandon he has to figure it out, no adjustments, and just like, I think the team at that point, after all of these seasons, essentially quit, right? And then year 4, last year, is all of the wheels completely fall off. Everybody gets injured. His flaws, even early in the season, when there were games where you were competitive in, and you still see Willie Green just not making the right moves. You see Alfred Payton get 20 assists one game and then not even play the next game. It's like, bro, what are we what are we doing here? Like, are you trying to win or are you trying to lose? Like, you didn't have to. A lot of people was talking about, man, it look like we're gonna tank early. Like, Willie Green is a built-in tank. He's a built-in hindrance to consistent success. It's just what he does. So last year, like I said, everything falls apart. They lose the 61 games. Part of it was the tanking, but part of it is just, and then at that point, he must have really been feeling the pressure because he's constantly calling the team soft over and over and over. And it's like, bruh, first off, if you calling us soft consistently, like all attitude reflect leadership, Captain. You know what I mean? So, like, obviously he's not doing his job in ensuring that those guys are playing a certain kind of way. That's one part of it. The second part of it, those dudes, when you start losing and you know that the head coach is a negative, you're not trying to go out there like, I don't want to play for that guy. Like, you playing for yourself. So that's another thing. There's only so much pride that you could do when you know strategically that you're going to be behind the 8-ball. So everything falls apart. Boom, you come into you finally finish the season, and then it's like, okay, should we finally replace Willie Green? I think the writing's on the wall going into next season for sure. I can't imagine him making it out of the season. So the biggest indictment to me and why we can't trust Willie Green is we talk about the inconsistency and the losing. So I just want to put this out here. Willie Green has, I gotta look it up. Willie Green has 4 10-game losing streaks. Like, throughout his career, he has 4 10-game losing streaks. Like, that's insane. Like, a 10-game losing streak will completely derail the season. That's one thing. He had 1 9-game losing streak. So, like, I know some of them happened last year. So you had a 9-game losing streak last year and 2 10-game losing streaks last year. Like, that's unacceptable in itself. Not to mention all of the double digit losses and then all of the blown leads that you could have had to kind of mitigate all of that. So he's also had 7 losing streaks of 4 or more games. Like, so you have. And all of that separate from the 10-game losing streak. So you have 7 losing streaks of 4 more games. So the magic number for Willie is 4, essentially. At 4 wins max, you not get like a loss. You could almost book a loss coming. He's won 5 games or more. No, he's won 5 games or more one time. And I think it was a 6 or 7 game win streak that they went on his second season when they were the 1 seed. So he had 1 winning streak of 5 games or more. And this was 2 seasons going on 3 seasons ago now when the next season starts, and then 1 winning streak of exactly 5 games. That's insane. Like, that's an indictment in itself. Like, if you're a coach, if you know at 4 games we're essentially booked for a loss, and not just a loss, like a losing streak. I want to talk about like all of the multiple 2-game, 3-game losses, 4-game, like, it's insane. So I think those are the reasons why everybody is really hesitant. It's like, man, like, just get James Borrego. And it's not to say that James Borrego is a great coach. We just know that Willie isn't a good coach. Like, we almost, like, at some point when somebody is so bad, you'd be willing to take anything to give yourself a shot. And it's just unacceptable, man. Like, it's just unacceptable. So from a Willie Green standpoint, and with all of the offseason moves and constructing this new roster, and we're talking about what are they going to do as far as players they're bringing in and style of play and all of that, at the end of the day, it really don't matter what they do, because we know that even the most successful team, or even the most well put together and or talented team, is going to be capped by the limitations of this particular coach. And I don't think there's a way that if he stays the way he is, the stubbornness and not willing to grow and evolve, that there's anything that you could do about it. So with that being the case, you absolutely have to move on from Willie Green, not only for the sake of the franchise moving forward, but if you're really going to go all in and get these players and give them an opportunity to develop into them best selves and perform the best, you have to move on from Willie Green. Strictly from a number standpoint, you can almost never be more than a fringe playing team or something like that, or like battling, like you might battle because the team could be incredibly equipped, but there's no way I believe that Willie Green as the coach is going to be able to win. Even if you somehow get through one round, somebody gets, like, the opposing team gets injured and you can get through one round. There's no way I believe that a coach like Willie Green is going to be able to win you 2 rounds in the playoffs. Like, that's how you see we struggle through some of the play-in games that they probably should have won. So with that being said, I just kind of want to land my plane there, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. Pels in the blender. We're gonna keep this thing going. I know some people might have some pushback about Willie Green, but I think it's pretty safe to say that at some point, for us to have some hope moving forward with all of the potential roster moves and stuff like that, something needs to be done. James Borrego might not necessarily be the answer, but we know for sure that Willie Green isn't. Thank y'all. Have a good day.